Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Recha Kodesh. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of 1 Samuel, the 20th chapter, David and Jonathan covenant. And as we left off in the 19th chapter with Saul seeking after David's life. And in this case, David having to actually flee, which he goes to Samuel to, to inform him. And they go to Nile to dwell there. And when Saul sends messengers after David, the Lord compels them to prophesy. Hence, they were rendered incapable of apprehending David, to the point where even Saul himself coming there was, prohibited from actually doing any harm to David. So, continuing in 1 Samuel 20 and 1, and David fled from Naioth and Ramah, and came and said before Jonathan, What have I done? And what is mine iniquity? And what is my sin before thy father, that he seeketh my life? So David, comes back, he finds Jonathan, and he's like, what's going on? Because last time we spoke, you know, you made it clear to me that your father wasn't going to slay me and everything was good. So what did I do this time? Like, what wrong have I done that he's trying to kill me? And he said unto him, God forbid, thou shalt not die. Behold, my father will do nothing, either great or small, but that he will shew it me. So there's no way. My father wouldn't try to kill you. He doesn't do anything without telling me first. And why should my father hide this thing from me? It is not so. So there's no way he would hide a matter like this from me. There's no way. There's no way. That's not the case. Verse 3. And David sware moreover and said, No, thy father certainly knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight. And he saith, Let not Jonathan know this, lest he be grieved. So your father knows that we're very close. And so in trying not to, stress you, that's why he didn't tell you about it, that he was trying to really kill me. But truly, as the Lord Yahweh liveth, and as thy soul liveth, there is but a step between me and death, meaning I'm just a step away from death. That's how close, or how determined your father is to kill me. Then said Jonathan unto David, Whatsoever thy soul desireth, I will even do it for thee. So tell me, whatever it is that you need me to do for you, just let me know, and I'll help you out. And David said unto Jonathan, Behold, tomorrow is the new moon, and I should not fail to sit with the king at meat. So, usually they would all, being that David was now, in the household, you could say, right, son-in-law, they would all sit together and eat, right? David, Saul, everybody. But he's saying here, right, because it's the new moon, but he's saying here, that's usually what I got to do. But let me go, that I may hide myself in the field on to the third day at even. So for the next 3 days, let me go and hide. And I'm not going to be there with you guys. And if thy father at all miss me, then say, meaning if he inquires, what happened to David? Why is he not here? Then say, David earnestly asked leave of me that he might run to Bethlehem his city, for there is a yearly sacrifice there for all the family. So they were coming up with a plan, which was pretty wise, to determine, to like test the temperature of Saul, and also prove to Jonathan here what Saul's intentions truly were. So basically, if he asks about me, just tell him that I had to go back to my hometown for a yearly sacrifice. If he say thus, it is well, thy servant shall have peace. So if he responds like, oh, okay, all right, that's cool, then you know that, all right, he's not going to try to kill me. But if he be very wroth, then be sure that evil is determined by him. So if he's pissed off, that's your sign that, yeah, he wants to kill me, and he's mad because now you basically let me escape. Therefore thou shalt deal kindly with thy servant, for thou hast brought thy servant into a covenant of the Lord with thee. So don't forget, do this, and look out for me, because we made a covenant, remember, before the Lord. Notwithstanding, if there be in me iniquity, slay me thyself. For why shouldest thou bring me to thy father? So if anything, and I'm wrong and I'm wicked, then I'd rather you put me to death. You kill me than to have me, you know, basically be brought into the hand of Saul. And Jonathan said, Far be it from thee, for if I knew certainly that evil were determined by my father to come upon thee, then would not I tell it thee? So he's saying, no, don't even say that. Like that I always have your back. If I knew if that my pops was trying to kill you, of course I'd tell you. Would you think I'd hide something like that from you? Then said David to Jonathan, Who shall tell me? Or what if thy father answer thee roughly? So, in other words, like I need, like, how am I gonna get that confirmation? I need, we got to do something. I need some surety to know that, all right, this is what the case is. If you find out whether it's good or bad, you're gonna come and tell me. And Jonathan said unto David, Come and let us go out into the field. And they went out both of them into the field. And Jonathan said unto David, O Lord Yahweh, God of Israel, when I have sounded my father about tomorrow any time. So when he says found sounded, meaning when he has spoken to his father concerning this issue, or the third day, and behold, if there be good toward David, and I then send not unto thee, and shew it thee, the Lord Yahweh do so and more to Jonathan. So what he did, what he ended up doing was to have the Lord bear witness, right, between them, that Jonathan, depending on the answer, right, whatever he when he talks to his father Saul, if he doesn't come back and tell David or give David an update, the Lord is going to destroy him, basically. Usually that saying, the Lord do so and much more unto me, is like saying, like, the Lord curse me with this or destroy me if I don't honor this oath. But if it please my father to do thee evil, then I will shew it thee. So whether it's good or bad, the Lord is my witness that I will let you know. And send thee away, and that thou mayest go in peace. And the Lord Yahweh be with thee, as he hath been with my father. Meaning that was when the Spirit of the Lord was on Saul at that time. And thou shalt not only, while yet I live, shew me the kindness of the Lord Yahweh, that I die not. So Jonathan is here saying, look, I'm going to inform you, of everything that I hear, and if it's evil, then the Lord, may the Lord deliver you and establish you. But in addition, not only while I live, are you going to show me kindness and preserve me and protect me? Because if you get established as king and I'm of Saul's house, you gotta basically promise me that I'm gonna be good. And not only me, but as we're about to read here, my line as well. So as he says here, and thou shalt not only while yet I live, shew me the kindness of the Lord, that I die not, but also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. See? So don't you have have that mercy and show that to my descendants after, lest at some point, you seek revenge for what Saul did and eliminate my descendants after me. Um, verse 15 again, but also thou shalt not cut off thy kindness from my house forever. No, not when the Lord Yahweh hath cut off the enemies of David, every one from the face of the earth. So even if at the point when the Lord delivers all your enemies, into your hands and he destroys them, you have to basically swear to me that you're going to have kindness and mercy towards um my house. So David made a covenant with the house of Salakia. So Jonathan made a covenant with the house of David, saying, Let the Lord Yahweh even require it at the hand of David's enemies. And I'll read this in another translation as well. As it says here, so Jonathan made a solemn pact with David, saying, May the Lord destroy all your enemies. Okay. And in this case, you know, it's like, I mean, this is me speaking as a man, but I can see, Jonathan coming back as being in the house of David, you know, but that's just my personal observation. And Jonathan calls David to swear again because he loved him, for he loved him as his own soul. Then Jonathan said to David, tomorrow is the new moon, and thou shalt be missed, because thy seat will be empty. So you go ahead and hide, and we'll go ahead with this plan. And when thou hast stayed 3 days, then thou shalt go down quickly, and come to the place where thou didst hide thyself when the business was in hand, and shalt remain by the stone Ezel. So when you, after hiding 3 days, come to the place that you hid before, where I first spoke to my father, and then stay there by this specific stone. And I will shoot 3 arrows on the side thereof, as though I shot at a mark. So I'm gonna come that day, and I'm gonna basically do my arrow practice, arrow shooting, whatever. But it's really gonna be a sign for you. So make sure you're there. I'm gonna shoot 3 arrows near the side of the that rock, as though I'm aiming at something. And behold, I will send a lad, which is a boy, saying, go and find the arrows. If I expressly say unto the lad, behold, the arrows are on this side of thee, take them, then come thou, for there is peace to thee, and no hurt, as the Lord liveth. So the plan is, after 3 days, will you come over here and you hide over here, and I'm gonna come with my, whoever arch arrow holder, whatever the case is, and I'm gonna shoot 3 arrows, and I'm gonna send him, hey, go get the arrows and bring them back. And whatever I say to that boy will be assigned to you. If I tell him the arrows are here, right on this side, grab them and bring them, that's a sign that, okay, everything is good. And Saul's not going to kill you and you're good. The Lord is going to preserve you here. But if I say unto the young man, behold, the arrows are beyond thee, go thy way, for the Lord Yahweh hath sent thee away. So if I say to the boy, the arrows are ahead of you, that's your signal to go, that you can't stay, because the Lord is basically saying, nah, you got to go. Saul is mad and he wants to kill you. And as touching the matter which thou and I have spoken of, behold, the Lord Yahweh be between thee and me forever. So concerning what we've discussed in this oath, may the Lord bear witness between us forever and establish it. So David hid himself in the field, and when the new moon was come, the king sat down to eat meat. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not a thing that day, for he thought something had befallen him. He is not clean, surely he is not clean. So Saul thought, David had done something that made him unclean. Maybe he touched a dead body, or, something that he did. And so that's why he's not, he's not here to partake. So that's all right. Verse 27, and it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. So he was missing again. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meat, neither yesterday nor today? So why is David not here? What happened? He wasn't here yesterday and he's not here today. And Jonathan answered Saul, David earnestly asked leave of me to go to Bethlehem. And he said, let me go, I pray thee, for our family hath a sacrifice in the city, and my brother, he hath commanded me to be there. And now, if I have found favor in thine eyes, let me get away. So David asked me for permission to go to his hometown, for the sacrifice that they have. And he said he couldn't miss it. He has to be there. So when he asked me, I pray thee and see my brethren, therefore he cometh not unto the king's table. So I was just like, yeah, no, that's why he's not here, because he went to that sacrifice. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said, you can imagine, he probably slammed the table, boom. the forks and the plates, cling cling, and everybody stops. Shit. Then Saul's anger was kindled against Jonathan, and he said unto him, Thou son of the perverse, rebellious woman, do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion, and unto the confusion of thy mother's nakedness? You think I was born yesterday? Now, thy son of the perverse and rebellious woman, that's like a saying that you would use out of frustration. It's kind of like today calling somebody like a SOB, like you son of a, you son of a B. Or here in the NLT, it words it as well, you stupid son of a whore. Oh shit. Yo, Saul, man. Um, and basically he was upset, right? And he was saying, Do not I know that thou hast chosen the son of Jesse to thine own confusion? Meaning, you know, I know that you have basically chosen David over me, but it's to your own confusion because you're supposed to be heir to the throne. You supporting him, if he gets his way, he's going to be the next king. He's going to get established, and that's going to be to your shame because you're supposed to be the heir to the throne, right? Or you're supposed to be. I'm gonna, you know, that position is going to be taken away from you, and as it says, and also the confusion of thy mother's nakedness, right? So by doing so, you bring in shame to you and your house because now you're supporting him against me. So clearly Saul wasn't buying that. For as long as the son of Jesse liveth upon the ground, thou shalt not be established, nor thy kingdom. So long as he's here, he's a threat to the throne. Can't you see I'm trying to make things good for you so you can be the next king? Wherefore now send and fetch him unto me, for he shall surely die. And Jonathan answered Saul his father, and said unto him, Wherefore shall he be slain? What hath he done? And Saul cast a javelin at him to smite him. You ungrateful brat. He threw that javelin. And at this point, so it got real heated. Here it is. Abner couldn't even finish that steak that he was chewing. He's like, shit. Whereby Jonathan knew that it was determined of his father to slay David. So Jonathan arose from the table in fierce anger, and did eat no meat the second day of the month, for he was grieved for David, because his father had done him shame. So Jonathan, he lost his appetite. He's like, man, he just got up and he just basically left, and he felt bad because David being innocent, and yet Saul is doing all these things. As it says, he had done him shame. Saul had behaved himself, shamefully concerning David. And it came to pass in the morning that Jonathan went out into the field at the time appointed with David, and a little lad with him. So David is in that field. Jonathan is there. The lad doesn't know, of course. Nobody knows. So from the outward perspective, it's just Jonathan going with his archers, um, or his bows and arrows, and his like errand boy. Let's just call him that. And he said unto his lad, Run, find out now the arrows which I shoot. So go ahead, run, run, run. I'm gonna shoot these arrows, and you pick them up and bring them back. And as he ran, he shot an arrow beyond him. And when the lad was come to the place of the arrow which Jonathan had shot, Jonathan cried after the lad and said, Is not the arrow beyond thee? And Jonathan cried after the lad, Make speed, haste, stay not. And Jonathan's lad gathered up the arrows and came to his master. So Jonathan was speaking, but it was like in code because he was really warning David by saying that, because that was the signal to David that, yeah, you got to go. And then, but to the anybody else would think he's talking to the errand boy to say, yo, hurry up and grab them and grab the arrows and bring them back. But the lad knew not anything, so he didn't understand. He didn't know what was going on. Only Jonathan and David knew the matter. And Jonathan gave his artillery unto the lad and said unto him, Go, Carry them to the city. So you go ahead and take my stuff back. And as soon as the lad was gone, David arose out of a place toward the south, and fell on his face to the ground, and bowed himself 3 times. And they kissed one another, which is like a greeting, you know. Uh, Even I think the Apostle Paul mentions, greet the brethren with a holy kiss. So it wasn't no weird shit. And the kiss was on the cheek. And wept one with another until David exceeded, right? And so basically this was like them parting ways, and saying like goodbye, because David had to leave. And Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for as much as we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord Yahweh, saying, the Lord Yahweh be between me and thee, and between my seed and thy seed forever." And he arose and departed, and Jonathan went into the city. And that brings us to the end of the book of 1 Samuel, the 20th chapter. Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachak Wadash. And until next time, Shalom.